Now, let's move now. Nazir Raf, good morning. So yesterday, I watched a detailed breakdown of Man United on The Athletic. You see, before we go into the UEFA Champions League games, you see, I don't know how to say this. Well, I don't know how to say it. Where's speech side? Where's speech side? The guys are very wahala people. I don't know how to say this, but it is something that I know I should say. You get it? What is that thing that I should say? I really think beyond Amorim, there is a personality problem in that team. Now, why am I saying this? Amorim said in his interview that I watched on video, you know, sometimes the mainstream media will not go with everything about the press conference. They will go with what suits their narrative. Yeah. Like, they covered where Arne Slot was saying they were lucky to have defeated Arsenal, the game could have ended 0-0. They were fixated on Peter Schumacher saying Arsenal play with 3 defensive midfielders. I have a compilation of Rooney's video for you, Raf, to see how defending Rooney was, but he was not a defender.
Even Messi had defended.
Rooney had problem with Alex Ferguson because he was always tracking back too much. Yes.
But he's not a defender now.
Exactly, Merino is not a defender. But you are saying he has defensive instinct. Merino is not a defender. Merino is not.
You cannot be a defender.
Look, because of you.
Merino.
Okay, no, you can't.
But he used to defend.
Yes.
Yeah, but he used to defend.
All time.
Now, I'm coming at the point now. I'm driving at the point now. Now, Amorim said something in that interview that I listened to yesterday. Because mainstream media will not say, they will not show you everything. They will move you one narrative and then want you to go with it. But hey, sometimes take time to listen. He said, look, that is not about changing the 3-4-3 formation. When people were saying that the manager's idea need to change, that then they were fixated on the fact that he said, change the manager. This is what he said. He said, it's not about changing the 3-4-3 standard. In his career, he has played 4-3-3. He has played 4-2-3-1. But he wants the team to have a particular identity. That after having that identity, it will not be easy for you to now rejig and play with other styles. That he's not a slave to it, but his identity is the 3-4-3 formation. And he wants his team to be known with that, but it doesn't make that will be their trademark. Because when you can play this style correctly and perfectly, then you can now switch to other styles. You won't see that in any media.
Yeah, nobody's going to tell you that.
Nobody's quoting that, but of course he said so in the press conference. He said so. Now, but going forward again, he now said that he is finding it hard to believe that people believe that when you can't interpret one style, you interpret another style. Factual.
Yeah, which makes sense. Of course, it makes sense.
Factual. But now, analyzing his comments on The Athletic, this guy took one part that struck me, because normally they use graph, they use tables, and then they use still pictures. He said, if you know why United first 15 minutes is good, around that time the shape of the team is still intact, which is the back three close up with the two midfielders, and then ensuring that there is no gap between the defense and the midfield. And then you now have the fullbacks occupying the positions that will choke the opponent, so the opponent can come out. But because these players are not roundly and perfectly suited to that system, whenever they concede, they throw their shape away, and you now begin to see gap between defense, midfield, and attack.
But
this is where you will credit Raf now. Wait now. Gary Neville sounded like Raf. He said the introduction of Matheus Cunha now meant that Bruno is now given a role behind where he would love to operate. That if you were going to give Bruno that kind of role, then you should have allowed Bruno to go to Saudi Arabia. since you are bringing Cunha to come and play Bruno's best role? Simple. Yes, sir. The Magana? Why?
I think just like he said, I agree with him. Doing the basic principles of the game. He mentioned Rafa Benitez, I think, or is it Antonio Conte, that he always tell his players, he has been telling his players during the course of the game, like this, like this, like this. He's been closing his hands, telling them to stay compact all the time. And it is expected that whenever a team is attacking against you, you stay compact. And for Bruno Fernandes, I think this season, things have not been unfair to him, especially where he's playing for Manchester United at that center of the park, because he's not familiar with playing in that position. But you just said something before the start of the show that Wayne Rooney is always tracking back, trying to defend and make sure that his team doesn't concede. Bruno Fernandes has allowed runners this season to go away from him and score goals against Manchester United.
Even in the last game.
Yeah, no once, no twice. I am a big fan of Bruno Fernandes. I love the way Bruno Fernandes has been playing for this club, and I'm always going to be his fan. But this is just the truth. This is just the truth. And you cannot put this entirely on the manager or on the system. And I think yesterday's report has it that Amorim feels that it's not about the system, it's about the mentality of these players and their belief and their confidence. And I said it yesterday, I think it was during the break, that for you to have confidence as a team, you have to win games. And the problem is they are not winning games to have that confidence to even be bold enough to play this style, or even be confident and stay compact, or stay where the manager tells them to. And whenever they concede, that's just it. Whenever they consider it will just be all over the place.
So now it's all about the players. The 11 players on the pitch should stay compact, should find spaces in attack. Let me finish. I'll let you speak. Should find spaces in attack, should create from deep, should defend on the front foot without any tactical support from the manager. Tell me one tactical thing that Amorim has done for United that's made him better. One.
The problem
just
is
one.
The players.
Was it not surprising to hear Gary Neville said that it is more of the same from last season? That forgot about the metrics, forgot about the stats. That nothing has changed.
The thing is, just like we said at the start of the season, it is still the same player.
No, but you were here rating, you were here telling us start of improvements.
Yeah, of course they were.
You were here telling us start of improvements.
Even against City, there were those stats. But the problem is, just like we reported at the start of the season, you have to pick up points. You have to, even the players. Bruno Fernandes was clear about that, I think, on Sunday. He said,
and then we are coming to that Bruno's interview, because in that Bruno's interview, Bruno criticized Lenny Yoro.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, but it's not only.
And then when you look at the video, it wasn't even Yoro's fault.
Yes, and it's not only. Even Reuben Amorim mentioned Lenny Yoro. He mentioned Lenny Yoro's name out clearly. He said Lenny Yoro should have defended in the inside, not from the outside.
That was what he said. This is what a top class manager is saying in a press conference.
Is it the first time that we get a manager calling out the player?
No top level manager. No top level manager will come in the press conference and call out his player. Nobody will do that. Which top level manager? Tell me one. Tell me one. You can't tell me one.
So many times.
You can't tell me one player. See, I remember when Araujo considered. See, Araujo, even as weak as Xavi is as a manager, Araujo considered the penalty that led to Barcelona's demise from the Champions League. And what happened? He never spoke ill about him in the media. Which manager will come? Even if the players should come and go against you, why would you come out and say these players should have done better?
About their players.
That's not the case. No top level manager, not Ateta, not Pep, no Slot, no one. See, you cannot tell me that this blame. Okay, there was no Matheus Cunha on Sunday. Why did Bruno play forward? Why did Bruno play forward when he had Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo on the bench that can play the CM role? Why did Bruno play forward if there was no Matheus Cunha on the team? He still chose to play Ahmad in an inside forward position that the guy is not used to. And you are playing two inside forwards that left with us in Ubemo and Ahmad.
You are talking about
the center back is taking about
names that we pointed out even yesterday.
We talked about so how is he has his players?
He has this 80% on the manager. Part of the blame to take, of course.
Tell me his players blame. Tell me one blame on his players. Tell me one blame on his players.
He has his own part.
You have
but you don't expect. You don't expect bad edge. Just like you said. I think he said one out.
He said what they said. Rashford said one thing. Onana is not in the team. Garnacho is not in the team. These were the bad eggs according to Amorim. These were the ones sabotaging his work. They are not in the team.
Yeah, they were the ones that were not working out. Those ones that were not tracking back.